about the onboarding call we had today. So that's
Mm-hmm.
big news for us, man.
Yeah.
Justin Day is in the house. Thanks for showing up today, Justin.
Yeah,
Justin
happy to
with
be here.
Swarm
That's right.
Systems, and he's also running an agency called Day by Day Marketing. Very interesting story. I'm really excited. Just look at the setup. Justin's showing off right now.
Yeah,
Like
go ahead and look inside the computer. Why don't you? Just to, I just had all these cameras lying around, so it's like I might as well stick them in some places where I've got all these lights and put them to use. So it made sense.
That's an amazing office, man. And you made most of it. And, this is basically your bunker or your war room for
Yeah,
running a fast growing 7-figure plus agency right now. Tell me a
yeah.
little bit about what you're doing, Justin. What Swam and what kind of agency are you running right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So about 10 years ago, I started in the marketing agency world, and I started off as a project manager, developer, graphic designer, kind of step and went to every position. And about 6 years ago, I started my own agency where I kind of then carried over and did one part of like SEO or social. And then what I really saw both working at a large agency and then kind of on the freelance side is that no matter if you're big or small, the if you don't have the foundations and if you're not kind of doing everything together with a cohesive message, the ROI and the branding, brand authority, everything doesn't move as fast as it should. So that's kind of where we've developed our system, which we call the Swarm system, that's been featured on Apple News and NASDAQ and all these kind of different outlets that kind of got some attention. But, what the Swarm system is as a whole is every part of your digital marketing strategy, whether that's SEO, social media, your website, Facebook, lead generation, email nurturing, everything all in one. It's a 100% done for you system that is a cohesive message swarming your audience from all angles, right? So we're stuffing the top of the funnel, nurturing down the middle and at the end, making sure that we're gathering data along the way and leaving our opinions at the door. That's what Swarm System is as a whole. We're a lead generation system that delivers boiling hot leads, and our vehicle is through kind of social media and Facebook ads and stuff like that. So it's been taken off, and we're excited to see the results over the last couple of years, and now it's just kind of off to the races. So it's been fun.
That's awesome, man. That's fantastic. I think. What about the type of businesses that you're working with? Are you working with a particular niche right now, or is it you specialize in a particular niche?
Yeah, so I started out, before I came to 7FA as a generalist, and I'm kind of niching down a little bit. A lot of my customers are big corporate event companies, event rental companies, or wedding companies. I've also got a lot of local companies too. I'd say my target audience is really that person, that company, that entrepreneur that has kind of figured out their stuff, and they need that gasoline to go to the next level. They need that bonfire to just explode, and they also need their time back, right? And that's what Swarm System does ultimately. It gives you your time back and springboards your business because we do everything for you. And so the target audience is really kind of in that where somebody's probably trying to get to that 7-figure range, and it's just like boom, you pour this sauce on it and it's good to go.
So these businesses already on track to hitting 7 figures. They've been growing. They're probably 500,000 plus a year business, and then you're coming in and like really working with people who already have some budgets
Mm-hmm.
or maybe not quite there with everything that they should be. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of businesses, and myself included, don't have the time to knock out content or be strategic with their target audience and really make sure that everything that you're doing is resonating with your target audience, whether that be your lead magnets or copy on your website. Everything should be considered there. And we kind of take that burden off of companies' backs and do all the marketing foundations that you really need to scale. A lot of people put the cart before the horse and want to scale, but if you don't have those foundations and you're not kind of posting on social media and doing
Mhm.
SEO all the time, you're not feeding the algorithm enough. And that's where the swarming that's where the analogy comes in, because it's just a flurry of content. So,
Yeah, and I'll be the first one to say here that we just recently had a onboarding call with Justin, and
yeah.
we've been doing our own stuff, and exactly what Justin's describing, right? We're the perfect
Mhm.
type of client for him. We've been doing our own marketing. We have a decent sized budget already, but we've been doing everything in house. And we've been kind
Yep.
of building that stuff up. Now it's time to bring in a professional like Justin, who can just like I love those words, fuel on fire, man, because that's exactly what we want.
Yeah.
And a professional like you, who's going to be coming in working on all angles. So our website, for example,
Hmm.
we've been trying to redo that. I think we got this, Justin, like, so you're in for a surprise. We got our website done on Fiverr maybe 3 years
Yeah,
ago.
sure. It's a good
Just
way
a
to start.
simple
Yeah.
WordPress template that we bought, and we've been able to, like, every time we decided to redo it, we ended up just updating the same one because it was such a huge task for us, and because the business is growing, and we just didn't get time, and we knew, like, over the last 3 years it's built up to a point where
Mm.
we know it's such a low hanging fruit for us,
Right.
and but it's a huge project for me because I don't want to drop everything else that I'm doing that go into this website project and take 6 months and then come out with something, right? So
Yeah, yeah. There's a
tell
right
me
and
a
a
little
wrong
bit
way to
about
do
this
it.
because I know what you're really, really popular for from the feedback that I've heard about
Hmm.
is that you move fast.
Yes.
And so tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, starting out in the corporate world and on the agency side, we had to move fast. And I learned those SOPs, operations, and quick ways to move, and really work with the client on a fast basis and get things done on a fast basis. And, now having that experience and then having my own agency and now implementing AI into the mix, I'm able to move it at an incredible pace because I'm kind of optimizing everything in between so that I can have transparency with the customers or with our clients, let them know what's going on, notify them on objectives, milestones that are completed. And also, it's really about just making sure that we're taking the time to do the right things, but not take too much time to, get the asset out the door. So we our biggest thing is definitely quality, but we are known for the speed. And
Mm,
because we've been able to work with bigger brands, like 7-Eleven, Bill and Melinda Gates, Formula One, all these other big ones, right?
nice.
We're able to take that knowledge and experience and give that to a small to medium sized business that deserves it and could use that help, because it's one thing to throw up, get that first step and get the website up and running, but the next level, you definitely want, if you want to take it to the next level, um, polishing it up and getting the SEO
Yeah,
and everything really makes a big difference. Especially, I'm really big on brand authority, and that's a part of it, and making that stuff a part of your
yeah.
brand. So
That's part of
yeah,
the reason that, when we decided to do what we're doing right now, we wanted somebody like you on board, because this is a winning combo. I feel like I've been an
yeah,
agency owner 15 years and counting, and I've done some ambitious projects, but never have I committed on a website like mine, which is easily over 100 pages, with all the blog articles and everything. um, uh, to be done in a month's time, and at the quality that you are outputting. Like, I've seen some of your work, that's incredible, and at that speed, I think that's the winning combination, because you would always get quality, sometimes a really overpriced quality, but some of these projects will run for 3 months to 6 months time before
oh yeah.
you has see real results coming out of it, right? Like that, I'm paying $30,000 and I can't see this website for the next 6 months, right? Like,
That's
it's a nightmare,
that's
man.
that's definitely the standard though, and that's part of the reason why we started the agency and continue to move forward. And we want to have that great experience, because a lot of times when people come over to us, they have had that experience where people didn't deliver on what they said, or they weren't hitting KPIs, or really they couldn't explain what they were doing in the first place. These TikTok marketing influencer kind of deals. So when they come to us, it's kind of like a golden ticket, or just a fresh breath where they can finally breathe, right? Because the thing what we pride ourselves on is doing everything right from the get-go and setting those
Mhm.
foundations to scale, whether the client stays with us or not. We want to be, if someone else comes into an account, we want that account to be like, we can't do any better than this is amazing, right? So we definitely value that. So there's definitely a lot that we kind of value together on that side, so this partnership
Yeah.
definitely goes a long way.
So I'm definitely gonna fill in the audience on how our website revamp goes, and we'll maybe post an update on that side. But now I kind of want to get into how you're actually doing this, man. Because I have another secret that I know, that you build up your agencies and your businesses, um, without really hiring any employees. And like at the stage that you're at, over seven figures already, I have seen no one who's like, I don't think anyone less than 10 people. Like one person that I know, who's doing really great, is the 20th fastest growing marketing agency in the United States, and he's kept the leanest team, that's Austin Erebor I'm talking about, at
Yeah,
Netfly Digital. And
yeah,
he's
he's a
kept a
stud.
really lean team, but even that team is reaching 15 people right now. But you were able to get to this point, and you're barely starting to hire now. So tell me
Mhm.
a little bit about, like, how does that work? Like, because I know, man, agency owners, that's, as we grow these businesses, because we are service businesses, the amount that we're paying to on our payrolls, for example, is
Mm.
always the biggest expense on
Yep.
that expense sheet, right? So like, what's your secret?
Yeah, so there's a few things in there, right? Again, going back to that corporate world, I made a lot of great first impressions and networking along the way. So when I started my own company, I was able to then get other big corporate clients to come with me, and along with those came huge contracts. Six-figure contracts. Last year I closed a $625,000 contract. That was a fun one. So
Nice.
those come in the door. Those are whales, though, and that's kind of why I came to 7FA, and it continued mentorship and all that kind of stuff, is to develop my kind of lower ticket offer, and that's I've kind of taken my swarm system and made it at an agency level as well. But yeah, I mean, to get to this level, I kind of, because I did everything myself through the first few years, I learned what needed to be done, what I could delegate, what I really need to hire for. And because I'm kind of a hard worker and I work nonstop, um, you know, I've been doing most of the stuff myself, but a lot of times I found some trust. I've been through a ton of people on Fiverr and other places like that, but I've found some good people that I've worked with for years now. And I've been just kind of doing that, or just staying up till 4 in the morning, grinding, just trying to do my thing. And now I've gotten to a point where I'm leveraging AI, and I'm still kind of able to scale, continually knocking past that seven-figure mark. But now that I'm working with your team and onboarding VAs, that makes it a whole lot easier to scale. But yeah, I mean, it just came down to the experience I had at leveraging brand authority, right? I've done a lot with that for PR stuff, writing my #1 best-selling book, stuff like that. That allows me to close a lot bigger deals with corporate. And I'm a huge believer in that as well. So those are kind of my secret sauces that I've been able to do. So,
That's
and it's
amazing.
definitely with AI, there's a ton you can
That's
do,
that's a
but
dream come true, man, for an agency owner. Because people early on start coming in. I see people around $300,000 and up a year. We're going to start bringing in some people. Usually make a lot of mistakes around
mhm,
that part. And I think, like, what I like about your growth, Justin, is that now you're at a point where you can take calculated risks.
yep,
Like, for example, coming in at RepStack. But now this is more calculated risk, and this is something that I'm learning with the Bezos letters right now. How
yeah,
you know Amazon's done that as a part of their culture, but so now it becomes a little bit easier for you to not make the same mistakes that everybody else is making at 300, $400,000, which is very
yeah,
expensive. It gets very tiring,
yeah,
and you don't have money to spare in any case. And then you go, and instead of hiring an executive assistant, for example, or a marketing associate, you go and hire a cold caller, and it's just crash and burn. So maybe, do you mind sharing what some of the first few roles that you're hiring right now for yourself at this point?
Yeah, absolutely. And if I were to just tell anybody, and I so mean this, if I could ever go back and hire at the minimum an executive assistant at least a year or two ago, that could have completely changed my life. I'm just now getting into it and seeing the value of it, and I'm starting to now get the excitement back to go back to work. So thank
Hmm.
you for providing this awesome service. It's been really hard to find people that are trustworthy, and it's awesome that I can take that off my shoulders. So yeah, right now I've hired a full-time executive assistant, a content manager that's just pumping out content left and right. And next up, I've got an account manager coming in. I think I'm going to go ahead and probably get a social media manager as well. I just continue to get more and more clients in the door, and we're just ready to scale.
And I think that's where, most of us agency owners, because we don't have the help that we need. I think, I see Josh Nelson's book in your background, the
Yeah,
Roadmap to Seven Figure
shout
Agency.
out. Yeah.
And, no doubt that book changed my life. I was at a very different stage than you, but I was there, like, that 300, I just couldn't break that $400,000
Mm.
a year mark for myself. And I tried everything, but breakthroughs came. But because now you were able to figure out what that looks like, I think going in and hiring that first hire as an executive assistant, that frees up so much of your time to really, now you said
Mhm.
that you're actually enjoying, because I can imagine, man, just you being the only person responsible for generating
Yes,
a
a lot
million
of shit.
dollars
Yeah.
That's I was like sweating balls when I was doing $300,000 a year. So I can't imagine, the pressure that you had on
Yeah.
yourself. But having that executive assistant, all of a sudden, your scheduling, your emails, your
Mhm.
social media, a lot of that stuff and more. You're able to just put that aside, and now you can just focus on the real work. Clutter is removed like that, and
Mhm.
now you can start uh, doing your hierarchy chart. What's that next strategic hire? A lot more clarity, and you just don't make a lot more mistakes like I did, or so many people that I know. So that's fantastic, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, it definitely failed multiple times. I've been involved or owned or been a part of over 30 businesses and startups over the last 10 years or so, just from being in high school, starting up. And I've learned a lot of things along the way. And this is kind of just the result, right? It's the thing where people see at the very top and they don't see all the stuff that came down, at the beginning. But yeah, no, I think, with the swarm system and connecting with others is helping others overcome those and hopefully stay away from those obstacles, because there's a lot out there. But if we can take on the burden of being an expert in our field, and we can allow our clients to do what they do best, that's a great partnership to just scale like crazy.
So the part of the reason that I really wanted to work with you, Justin, was because of the experience that you had of nationwide building out brands, which can really go US wide, or target bigger audiences.
Hmm.
Is that going to be part of your strategy when you're working on Swarm System, where you're working with businesses like agencies, for example? They need to be, they most agencies that I'm working with right now, they're not a state only agency. They have clients from across the
Hmm.
US, and they want to target all those markets. So is that in the play still?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have different variations of that as far as like pricing goes. It's just different tiered models, but basically we have a national and a local offering. So even global, if you want, we've got experience all over the globe, as well as in multiple languages for Spanish and those kinds of uh,
Hmm.
those kinds of ads and content and all that kind of stuff. So we try to stay as open as possible, but again, we are kind of specific on who we're looking to work with. It's the if you haven't found that voice or your niche or kind of those first steps yet, um, we're actually launching our app called AI Marketing Hub, where it's got all the tools and all of a whole list of 30 courses to teach you about marketing and all the foundations there. So that's a thing that we're offering to help people so that they can eventually, get to the swarm system level and be able to afford it. So
Yeah, I think like for a lot of clients that who are listening to us today are agency owners and SaaS businesses, and I feel that, just reaching out to Justin, just having a consultation and see
Yeah.
if that might be a better option for you, because, like I said, that uh, we're going all in with Justin Day just because of this reason, because we run almost like an agency, and we're targeting across the country, and in the mainly in the English speaking world.
Hmm.
And we thought that this is going to, based on his track record, so I think that gives a lot of clarity. How would people reach out to you, Justin?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can shoot me over an email at justin@daybydaydigital.com. And I'm happy to kind of hop on a 20-minute consultation call, see if there's any way I can help. I've got a vast network I'm always connecting people with. I've got a bunch of GHL snapshots, insider secrets, and all that kind of fun stuff. I'm happy to throw your way if we hop on a call. Maybe I'll ask you for a video review or two, but we'll see. So yeah, always happy to help out people. That's kind of my mission and what I'm here for. So yeah.
Perfect. And before we go here, Justin, I want to, if you can give one tip to an agency owner who's listening and who wants to generate more business right now in the short term and then consistently, what would that tip be?
Offload, outsource, get it off your plate. You're not the only, you can't be the only one. If you've got just, if you're just thinking about it and you've got the budget, and even if you go negative, get it off your plate. Go ahead and get a VA, get somebody to help you so you can run faster, because business and money love speed. If you're not running, then you're not going to be able to hit your targets, and you're not going to be able to do what you do. You're gonna run in place. Believe me, I've done that with plenty of businesses. So don't step over dollars to pick up pennies. Go hire somebody at RepStack to help you out so you can run as fast as you can.
Fantastic, Justin. Thanks for doing this, man. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it. Reach out to Justin, guys. Like agency owners, I can't recommend him enough. I was sold at first time we met in November last year, and ever since then, I've been trying to work a deal so that I can get to work with Justin.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but but it's worth it, man. Like we
Yeah.
should be at a point where like a strategic investment in your own marketing should be a priority, right? Like we're
Absolutely.
always worried about no deal flow, none of that stuff. And part of that is happening because it's not being prioritized enough. And even when we prioritize it with money, we're going to do internal systems because there was agency,
Hmm.
we're going to do it on our own, but it's a completely
Yeah.
different ball game than getting your rankings for your clients in that local city for that dentist versus
Hmm.
doing your own marketing, which is going to be nationwide. And you want, so it's you want to work with different type of people. I think this is going to be a very interesting success story to see you take this business from seven figures to nine figures. I'm
Yeah. Let's
seeing you
do
guys
it.
move, and you guys are moving fast. I love it. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming to the show, Justin. I really appreciate it, buddy.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. It was great talking to you.
We'll talk